Hi, hello, welcome to Directly News episode 214, dude. It's the Redirect Podcast. I'm AJ. I'm of Redirect. I'm joined by Parker, also of Redirect.
Hello.
We do this show every week. It's about Nintendo and whatnot, dude. And you can support that by going to youtube.com/watchredirect or twitch.tv/watchredirect or patreon.com/watchredirect. You get a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's listed on the Patreon specifically, but generally you get emotes, you get free Switch keys from time to time, you get access to resources on Discord where we record this show. On Patreon, you can't get emotes because if we don't have the technology for that, except for in the Discord, you can use emotes all the live long day in the Discord. But yeah, you get stuff, man. Also, if you didn't know, we started a new thing, all thanks to Patreon, where every time we drop a new video, we're going to do a giveaway of some sort, starting with a $25 eShop gift card, and you can enter to win, but to actually win, you have to be there during the giveaway itself, which is our next video premiere. It will be on Monday. We don't know the time yet. Follow us on social media so you can find the time, and then you'll be there, and it'll be a great old fun time, and then we'll announce the winner, and then you can be there to accept if you win, and then you get $25. It's great.
It's true.
Other than that,
very great.
We're talking about stuff and things, and starting with GameCube games coming to Nintendo Switch system.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right, here, let's get into it. The background for this is a little bit more broadly, but we're not talking about this week. So get out of here, everybody. There's a rumor for a Nintendo Direct, isn't there always? But you know, checks out. Probably is going to happen. Probably. It would be in 2 weeks though, and so we're not going to talk about that this week. We're going to talk about that next week. Probably, depending on stuff, I guess. But one of the pieces of that is that it seems like maybe, you know, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, those are GameCube games, maybe Metroid Prime, you know, also things that have been talked about for a long time, might be showing up potentially in that Direct. And then out of conversations from that, seems like maybe there's more general talks of like other GameCube games that might be remastered or whatever. And you know what? Who cares what any of them say is going to happen? Let's talk about what we want, which is just like, let's talk about, you know, just the GameCube games that we think should be remastered, remade, whatevered, and come to the Nintendo Switch. And, you know, why? Because, you know, even some of the ones we like, maybe it wouldn't make sense to do something with them. And maybe some of the ones we don't really like very much would make sense to come. So that's could be interesting.
Bro. All right, how you want to do it? How do you want to do this?
Maybe just, I guess, go back and forth a little bit. Like, you know, like you pick a game and we'll just talk about that. And then I'll pick a game. We'll talk about that one. And, you know, we'll see.
Okay.
At first, I was like 5 games, which we could stick to that if we want to, but also we don't have to. It could just be however many we think makes sense.
I propose Luigi's Mansion because we have Luigi's Mansion 3. And I mean, honestly, it would be cool to have all 3 on the Switch, but we're talking about GameCube games here. And if, you know, freaking started off with the GameCube one, which technically, I mean, you might as well start off with 3DS one because it has improvements and whatnot. So, like, but still, it's a GameCube game. Put it on the Switch.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think it's a, you know, best case scenario, do a little double pack, get both of them in there, but you don't like need the second one necessarily, or need the, you know, either of them are standalone, just good games.
Yeah, he skipped,
but that would be really
Mario
fun.
Galaxy too. So
yeah, right, exactly.
Luigi's Mansion 2, I guess.
Yeah, I think Luigi's Mansion makes a lot of sense. Any games that like just are standalone, good games and don't step on the toes of other games. So for example, actually I'm going to say one that I don't think they should do. It doesn't make any sense to bring like Mario Kart Double Dash. Like, fun as that game is, or whatever.
Let's name a game that we think should come and then a game we think shouldn't come. Let's do that.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash. Like, it's fun to play. I would love for it to show up in, like, if there's ever a GameCube service or whatever, a bunch of these games would be great to show up just to have them accessible. But like, we've got a Mario Kart that's the best Mario Kart just objectively. So like, Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to do, a $60 remaster or whatever this one.
Like, if you're going to do Double Dash, the thing that people like about Double Dash isn't inherently, like, it's not because of the Double Dash as a whole. It's just the two drivers and switching back and forth. And that can be included in other games with better physics and that feel tighter.
And also, like, I guess I never really played co-op that much, or just like I've probably played against CPUs for the most part. So I didn't care even that much about that part. So for me, it's even easier to bring it forward, which is just like, just get all the good levels, just bring them all over, and then I'm happy. All the good levels. And like, if you really want to, like, a fun thing they could do as part of DLC could be, here's a Double Dash cart and a 64 cart and an SNES cart or whatever, and it's like carts that have the kind of sort of like the physics of whatever that game is, where like the Double Dash one is super floaty or whatever. Like, that would be a fun way to bring it back forward, but we don't need Double Dash in and of itself.
True.
And it's just,
that made people angry, but I don't care. And I mean, just so like we're not doing it where I'm the one picking the games that do come, I'm going to say one that shouldn't come, and then you pick the next one that should come. And the game that I think shouldn't come, even though it's going to make people mad, but at the same time, like, the people that it's going to make mad, I think that wouldn't play it anyway. Melee. I don't think Melee should come to the Nintendo Switch system, because
fully agreed.
Melee fans would find a way to complain about it anyway. Even though at this point they're not even really playing the original game, like, there's so many different mods and quote unquote enhancements that are like necessary to play the game in the first place, that like
really like anytime there's tournaments, because more often than not it's like some kind of mod.
Yeah, literally every like official tournament, at the very least, they mod the controllers. Because
interesting.
GameCube controllers are bad. Read inconsistent.
So funny,
so what they do is it's this thing called UCF, which means Universal Controller Mod, and it kind of like evens the playing field. It like makes all controllers perform to a certain level of consistency, because GameCube controllers suck. But apart from that, there's also stuff like it's an older game, so they didn't think of like turning hazards off. So like Pokemon Stadium 2, now they freeze it, so it doesn't change from each form or whatever in competitive Melee and whatnot. And there's like other stuff that's modded around and like debated and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, people that would like pop off for Melee are not going to play it anyway, so it's like not really a point to put it on Switch. Now, I mean, in theory, they could like fix those things and put Melee out, but at that point, it's kind of like them directly competing with Ultimate, I think.
Exactly.
Which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, especially if they want to continue doing things with Ultimate, which it seems, I mean, like, if they know how successful Melee's been in the competitive scene since, it came out in 2001.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you, at this point, they're done updating Ultimate, but at that point you can, like, that's when, the true meta begins or whatever, because it's not changing anymore, Melee. I guess. Yeah. So, like, now they can finally start doing stuff with it,
I mean,
it would just be kind of eating their own
done right now. There's a lot being done in the year of our Lord 2022 with Ultimate specifically. Interesting. There's
just
a lot of like
nerfs and stuff like that.
No, just a lot of really big tournaments that are happening. Like
a lot being done that way. Yes, right, exactly.
Smash World Tour. There's like more Summit things happening. Ludwig just announced a big tournament that he's doing. There's a lot of stuff happening with that game. So
and it makes, in some ways, I would have expected that they would do that stuff while the game is like coming out, like while DLC is happening and stuff like that. But it kind of makes, I don't know, more sense to focus their resources on the new characters, publicizing those and stuff like that, marketing those, and then now shifting to doing all of this, because now it's like fewer resources need to be on the game, but to do something that's still substantial for sales and for all that stuff.
It's like it would be like, or the Joy-Con video, right? where for a long time we were still putting videos out, and those videos were doing fine or whatever, but the Joy-Con video was still making a lot of money doing nothing. Like we're just sitting there, and it's getting the views that it's getting. That is what Ultimate is going to be for them, where it's like they don't have to invest in patching the game and like putting DLC out and all that stuff. It's gonna like make more money and sell more copies through word of mouth and the promotion that is all these tournaments and circuits and invitationals and whatnot. But anyway, no Melee. Don't do it.
No Melee. Yep. Again, would be great if it comes to like a service or something, but as far as a remaster, we're good. Let's see. Next up, I'm just looking at the top selling games, but I'm going to skip down a little bit. And do I want to do this one next? Yeah, why not? Pikmin 1 and 2. A collection of those guys. True. We've got Pikmin 3. Yeah. Assuming Pikmin 4 is coming, like that would be nice. Just do remaster those games. Like those are, to be perfectly, I haven't played Pikmin 2, but I've played Pikmin 1. I think Pikmin 3 is a better game than Pikmin 1, but not like by that much in a lot of ways. Like there's some quality of life stuff, but also like I think if 2 is just as good as either of those, then like just as a series as a whole, it's all great. And so I think they could accomplish a similar thing as with like Advance Wars Reboot Camp or something like that, where it's just like double pack, stick them together. They've already done it on the Wii, right? Pikmin 1 or 2 were bundled together on the Wii. So yeah, just like
I don't know if they were bundled.
Maybe not. Or maybe they were like Nintendo Select or something like that.
Yeah,
Pikmin
like
1 and
like
2 Wii. Okay, looks like it was Nintendo Selects. So there's that. But yeah, that's a game that I think should come.
Okay.
There it is.
Are you going to do the next?
Yeah. And then a game that shouldn't come, is that right?
Yeah.
Mario Party, one of them. I don't know which one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say all of the Mario Parties with an asterisk of do another Mario Party Superstars, but with like best of GameCube. But I don't think any... What? My dog is digging at the couch behind me. That's interesting. Whatever. She is a weirdo, but she's fun. But yeah, I think none of the individual Mario Parties should come. That's what I think.
Fair enough. I think friggin' this isn't first party, but I want it anyways. Beautiful Joe, bring it, because I like it a lot. Yeah. It's a good game. Game's good. Probably my favorite platinum game, and it's not even close.
I have that game, but I haven't played it.
Platinum.
Oh right, because it's Hideki Kamiya, but before was it just before Platinum?
Thing, yeah.
Okay. Because same for like Okami, right? I'm pretty sure that was before Platinum was a thing, but also was Kamiya. Yeah. Yep. No, I gotta try out that game. But yeah, it should come. It'll be good.
Another game that shouldn't come for similar reasons to Melee and also kind of Mario Party, I guess, is freaking Mario Strikers. Even though I do think Mario Strikers is a better game than the Mario Strikers that we currently have. I still think that it just doesn't make any sense to come out with that one. Like, if they're going to come out with that one and it's like in a perfect world and the online's better and more seamless and you can play with all your friends and whatnot, just do that with the game we have already.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, and I mean, for what it's worth, I think that's really the only reason why Mario Strikers, the original game, doesn't even have online multiplayer, but like it doesn't have it, so they couldn't mess it up because they didn't attempt to mess it up. So like you can't lose points for something you don't have, especially if you were made like pre it being a thing, you know, or not it being a thing, but it being an expectation, I should say.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah. That's the next one I think shouldn't come. I don't know how many are we doing. How many did we do?
I think we've done like 4 or something ish.
Okay, let's do one more because that's easier for the title. 5 games that should come. 5 games that shouldn't.
Nice. Okay, quick just note, like obviously we're not saying Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, because one of those already is there, and the other ones are part of the rumors, like me. Okay, so one more. Ooh, there's a bunch that I'm seeing, but I'm going to do honorable mentions just to throw them out there because it's fun. Thousand Year Door, that one makes sense. So Thousand Year Door, whatever, some other ones. The one I'm going to say is Kirby Air Ride.
True. I don't know why I didn't say that sooner. But that's
so there you go. I've never played that game, but I hear good things. So
Kirby Air Ride is
it
sick.
would just be fun.
Yeah, it's
you said Kirby Air Ride is what? Is addictive?
Sick. It's sick.
Oh, sick.
Very cool game. That game inspired and was inspired by other games that I like a lot. It's a very Smash Bros-esque video game. And it was the Smash Run game before Smash Run.
Nice.
And I like Smash Run. Smash Run's cool. Plus, it was like the first 3D Kirby game, which is pretty neat.
That's true. And then the last one that shouldn't come. It's kind of between two. One's an obvious one, and one's... Well, we'll just talk about this one afterwards. So I'm going to say the obvious one, and then I want to talk about this other game.
Okay.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
should not come. Because why would you?
Why
you know,
would you do that?
That's dumb. Okay, so there's all those, and now just a couple more to talk about. That
The Star Fox
who's
games,
to say?
Both of those.
It's both of those,
Assault
and
Adventure would be cool.
But also, so yeah, let's talk about Star Fox. Yeah, I don't know. Those make sense to come, right? Or like do that, but like at the same time. I'm hesitant with both Star Fox. The other one I was going to say was F-Zero. Is like at this point, if you're going to put a lot of time and money into, because it still takes time and money to remaster a game, remake a game, whatever, and like bring it back up to the modern age. It feels a little risky to do that with Star Fox Adventures, even though that's, a fun game or whatever.
I thought you were going to say that, like, if they're going to invest money in something like that, they might as well do a new one. But no, I think that what they should do is just remake Assault. Because Assault is like what a Star Fox game is. If they fleshed it out, ironed out some of the rough edges, and modernized it, it's what Star Fox should be. And like the balance of its gameplay, like it shouldn't just be dogfights. It should like also focus on the characters that they promote so much. Like you see the Star Fox crew more than you see R-Wings and all of their promotional material. So why do people just want to see the R-Wings in the video game? I don't think that makes any sense.
So are you thinking like a Final Fantasy VII remake of Star Fox Assault kind of thing?
100%.
Yeah. I could see that for sure. And then honestly, so then similarly for me, F-Zero GX, like I feel like I hear a lot of people saying like, if you want to do the F-Zero franchise right, just like do a modern or do a, HD port of GX and all that, which is like, I get that. I don't know that is the franchise saving move that they need. Right. It just, again, same kind of thing though. You could do that. And like, I think if you include, I don't know, for me, it feels like just like it being as arcadey or like those kinds of games being as arcadey as they are and as hard as they are, like that's a hard sell today. So I feel like
it was always a hard sell. If you look at the history of the franchise.
True. Yeah, man. But like, back in, even, SNES days or whatever, like a game being hard was like, well, it was the only game I got. I guess I'm going to play it. And so, that was something because like same goes for like Mario was hard back then. And like, at least comparatively. So like games that series just like never became forgiving. And I'm not saying that it should be, but I'm saying like it needs, I feel like more.
It needs broader appeal. It needs something that people that aren't currently F-Zero fans will like, And I think, because the problem with this is that this gets into like the argument that people try to make with stuff like Splatoon, and I've been arguing against that for weeks now, and I'm making a whole video arguing against that. But like obviously F-Zero's not working, so something's got to give, you know. That's like whether that is make the racing more fun, you know. I don't know how they do that, or it's you make some fundamental changes to what the series is. You know, like compromise, like inject what current fans like, because like obviously there are a decent amount of current fans, and you shouldn't lose those if you can avoid it. But at the same time, the current fans gotta understand that like the thing that they like needs to evolve for it to grow past that.
Yeah,
just like
I mean, and honestly, I feel like you can lower the barrier of entry without even touching the core of the thing, you know, where like, for example, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is, you know, a party racing game kind of thing. You can turn on auto accelerate and auto like the bumpers. Right. And we literally had Ezra playing at 50cc the other day. She got first place doing like literally oftentimes braking in the middle of the thing. She was just pressing whatever buttons and like, you know, used a mushroom like twice accidentally, which that was really cute. But like otherwise would just like go and like hold B for a bit and then still caught back up to first place. All that said, like that, you know, that isn't Mario Kart necessarily to me. That's not the experience that I want to have, but it's fun that that's there. So that like if I'm playing with, I don't know, like a 6-year-old or something who this is the first time they're ever playing a game, that's something they could do. A similar kind of thing. Like, I don't think F-Zero needs to be necessarily something that can be dumbed down to like a first time gamer ever sort of a thing, but at least something where it's like, when I first start playing on the easiest mode that exists as somebody who plays games, I'm not like, oh, I got kicked out of the third race because I wasn't keeping up well enough. Like, you know, something that like just lower the barrier of entry at the bottom of that.
A thing that I would say, like if the whole appeal of this thing is like it's this freaking hard racing game or whatever, steer into that skid. Like make it more mechanically challenging, you know. Make it more of a like freaking, what is that, the like battalion, the one with the like the crazy controller you know, like something akin to that, where it's like it's very involved to drive this thing or what, like the gameplay experience needs to be changed, and whether that is slimmed down, streamlined, or made even more like complex and something to like master. I think either one of those could be like marketed well, like whether it's a Dark Souls approach or it's a Mario Kart approach, something's got to give.
And honestly, like I feel like if you make somebody attached to what's happening, it makes it way easier to want to be invested in doing something that's hard. And that's like, you know, so that's why I think the whole overworld that we've talked about that a lot, but like having an overworld and being a character doing stuff, like doing that before you even start your first race makes it to where you're not just going to give up after one race, as opposed to if it's just like click the menu navigation until you start a race. And then as soon as you start, you're like doing terribly, then that's like harder to want to overcome the hurdle really at all. So yeah, I feel like all of those, there's so many options for how to like things get people into the series.
Yeah, things to try to get people interested, because obviously people at large are not. But yeah, freaking GameCube games, dude.
That's the ones. Yeah, but you know what, while GameCube games are waiting on coming and stuff, we're getting some information on games that actually are coming, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, specifically some Pokemon's coming in there, like Grafaiai.
It's true. So I was going to go through all the titles to you, but I forgot to do it. And what I have on here is Pokemon promo cycles are too cool. And what I mean by that is they have done this for every recent Pokemon game, where it's like this like Animal Planet-esque, you know, like like Pokemon documentary of like, here's studying this Pokemon and its habitat and stuff like that, when none of that is present in the game. And I think that it would be so cool. And maybe this is flirting a little bit with the Pokemon game making series, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. If at least some of the Pokemon that you catch, whether that be like, oh, this Pokemon is a special Pokemon, not like the special Pokemon for this area, not this Pokemon is always here, but there's a chance that every Pokemon you encounter can be this special of a Pokemon, that it's like a Monster Hunter quest where there's multiple like levels to catching this Pokemon. And like you got to study their habits and like follow their tracks and look for clues of like, oh, they left a half-eaten berry here and like that sort of stuff. Because there's a lot of that stuff in all of this marketing where it's like, oh, this Pokemon's definitely been here and found footage and all that crap, but none of that is in the games. And why?
Yeah,
because it lends itself pretty easily to, it's another thing that is like depicted in many other forms of this property, but not in the like the original inspiration for the property in the first place.
Yep. I feel like the closest thing that it has is like in Legends Arceus, there were a couple of Pokemon that was like, you have to go do this thing and go to this place and that Pokemon will show up. But it's like very fetch questy instead of
predetermined. It doesn't feel like a thing that like the Pokemon's not responding to you and your actions and the world around it. It's like, you had to go here because we decided that this Pokemon is here. It's not like it has this kind of behaviors. Figure those. It's something that out.
It's something that you can, put in an IGN tutorial or whatever. And like, here's the play-by-play of how to get this Pokemon. It takes 3 steps, but like, if you do exactly this, that, and the other, then you'll get it. As opposed to like something that's like, you kind of just have to wait like around this area for.
Exactly. It's like, there are different habits that have been observed. And you can do with that what you will, And like I said, I don't even necessarily think that in fact, I think that it shouldn't. I think that it shouldn't be something that everybody has experienced and like a lot. I think it would be a lot cooler if like it happened to me freaking day 4 or whatever, right? And it was on a Pikachu, and it happened to you for the first Pokemon you ever encountered 20 minutes into the game, and it was on a Grafaiai, like that sort of thing, like it, and like where it happened and how it happened and what the Pokemon did and what you had to do was different in some way.
Which is, man, it's especially funny. So I watched John Cartwright put a video out about the Pokemon franchise and like who owns it and some history behind it and stuff like that today, which was like, some of that was stuff I knew. And then there were some other more anecdotal things that I didn't know. And those were really interesting. One of the things was that like, as they came up with the game, it first happened because what's his face? Tajiri and somebody else, I can't remember off the top of my head, and that's fine. We're playing Dragon Quest 2 or something, and one of them got 2 of this rare item and the other one got none of the rare item. And they were like, what would be great if you could trade things. And then that's how like the link cable came about and all that stuff, blah blah blah. So like, that was the instigating factor, was like, so that you can trade if somebody gets this cool stuff and then you can share with each other or whatever. I feel like some of that has been lost, where instead now it's kind of like making sure that all of the experiences are possible for the lowest common denominator, regardless of their quality or something like that. Like, and
I think that like with the more connected that people get, the less important making sure everybody can experience it on their game through
in exactly the same way
is because like, even if you can't find the thing, maybe I found the thing multiple times and I can just trade it to you, or you can come to my world now. Like it's literally a feature where it's like, yo, man, there's a I caught like I caught the leader of the Squirtle Squad, and after I caught him, the second in command came a new leader, and he's pretty good. He's a pretty good Squirtle. You might want to come to my world and come catch him. You know, like,
yeah, right.
I hear from the locals that he stays around this area of the town. You know, like that type of stuff would be sick.
And like, you can honestly, I can't remember what game does this, or there's something that does this kind of a thing, but like it has some sort of like check in it where if this thing doesn't happen, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it's with the blade system, and it's not implemented particularly well. But basically, as you're trying to find rare blades, the more common blades you find, the more likely it is that the next one's going to become a rare one, that kind of a thing. Similarly, like some of these kinds of experiences can be something where it's like, you can make it happen yourself to some degree by like seeking it out, but like, it could also be like after a certain amount of time, it becomes more likely that it's just going to happen organically.
Right.
And it's going to just force whatever the thing is to like just show up in your face. And like whether you take advantage of catching that Pokemon or not is up to you. But like actually running into it just becomes more and more likely, you know, over time or something like that until it happens and then maybe it resets or I don't know, whatever. But like, yes, long story short, like, yeah, I agree. Like it's just really, I don't know. It's cool.
It would be so sick.
Those kinds of experiences.
It would be so sick. And it's like the type of thing that like it's not even a finite situation, because like even if you catch every Pokemon, say one of your Pokemon that you called out of the 600 Pokemon in your Pokedex or whatever, was one of those special situations. If you run into another Pokemon that you already have, and that's like the leader of that Pokemon's pack, you're still gonna kind of want to catch that Pokemon, you know, like it probably has better IVs, or it learned an attack that other Pokemon can't learn, or it has an item that's harder to find, or whatever the case may be. There's so many different ways to make that worthwhile and to gamify that and to make it more than just I caught a new number that I can use against other people's numbers. Plus, I mean, for the people that are into the number side of it, it's just another level of rarity of like, I found the shiny leader Pokemon and he was alpha, and you know, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think, I mean, along those lines too, I think as many ways that you can make it to where like when you catch a Pokemon, or doing the opposite of the Pokemon Go thing, where like if I catch a Pokemon, I want to have reasons to feel like I want to keep this specific version of that Pokemon, like not just any Squirtle, because if I find a better one that has better IVs or whatever, I can just like get a new one, because like you can fix that stuff if you want to, like end game, just get, you know, you can make Pokemon practically perfect.
Give it bottle caps and whatnot. Yeah,
exactly. Like it could take work, but like if it's a Pokemon that I care about, then I want it to be that like perfect or whatever, then like I care about making it be, you know, mechanically that perfect in the math way or whatever. But like I want to have reasons why this specific Squirtle means more to me than another one,
and having
other than just being like, I got it first, you know,
because just like I have a perfect IV whatever Pokemon, right, is not a story. Anybody
exactly
did that.
And like that's honestly, that was with Pokemon Go. The first time I stopped playing it, it was largely because I was just like kind of sad about that, where like I don't know, like I just didn't like the feeling that I'd catch a Pokemon and then I'd get a better Pokemon or a stronger one, and then I'd literally like kill or whatever, you know, but like send away who's to say, exactly, that one, so that this new one could be stronger or whatever. It just like didn't feel like the heart of Pokemon was off in that regard. So that's like true.
So I have Grafaiai up on the screen. We can read all about it. It says
we surely can.
Grafaiai is a moody Pokemon with a fastidious disposition. It doesn't form packs, preferring to roam alone. It's constantly caught up in territorial struggles with every other Pokemon. And then it says,
I'm curious if that like it would it would be interesting if that plays into the game at all. Like I could see it playing in some way, hopefully.
I doubt it,
but
it would be cool. It sets up poison traps around its territory. Grafaiai is nocturnal. Once the sun sets, it licks its hands and fingers to cover them in poison, then uses them to draw patterns on the trees in its territory. The poisonous saliva it uses to paint paralyzes bug Pokemon, which are drawn to the saliva's sweet, fragrant scent. When dawn draws near, Grafaiai grows to collect any incapacitated prey. Jesus. When Grafaiai senses danger, its poisonous saliva becomes even more toxic. That's crazy. This Pokemon specializes in using its poisonous saliva, which changes color depending on what the Pokemon eats, to attack foes by spitting at them or by slashing at them after coating its claws with the saliva. When Grafaiai senses danger, its poison rapidly becomes concentrated, resulting in a potent toxin that, once absorbed, will immobilize a victim for 3 whole days.
Goodness.
And then it's a poison normal type, which is a new type combo as far as
I
can recall.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's cool. Like it.
I bet here's my guess on how it plays into the game. I bet it's going to be the new Greedent situation, and it's just going to be in some trees.
Like, yeah, always near a tree.
Yeah. Or, I mean, yeah, always near a tree, or just like be one that you have to shake a tree, get some berries out. But it's like, this tree has like, Grafaiai's stuff on it or something like that. Or, I mean, maybe if I'm being optimistic, maybe you have to look for it. And it's like, in this area, these trees are all painted or whatever. And if that was dynamic,
that would be so
cool.
That would be so sick.
And then it just like goes between the trees, and it's like, it's in one of the trees, you shake it. Where it's, it's not in a tree, you shake it, you go to another one, whatever, something like that. I could see that kind of thing realistically happening. It's still not nearly as cool as,
as the whole
stuff we were talking about before.
To track down, like, oh, this one's painted and the paint's kind of dry, so it was a while ago.
Yeah. But still, if we'll see how it pans out. But it's a cool little guy.
Yeah, like
seems fun.
He's neat.
Yep.
I might have him on my team. I don't know. All I know right now is that I'm going to have Quaxley, and I mean, I'm going to get the other starters, but I doubt I'm going to have the other starters on my team. That's crazy.
I think I might be switching my starter. I was thinking Fuecoco for a while, and I'm starting to think Sprigatito maybe, because I'm curious to see what its final evolution is, but I also kind of don't want to see it, and I just want to like find out organically.
Yeah.
But I think lynxes are just really cool. Like I don't know, of all the big cats, that's probably one of my favorites. So if it turns into a cool lynx looking Pokemon,
for Sprigatito is the score bunny of this generation.
I think it really depends on its evolution to me.
Designed by an algorithm for sure.
I could feel that. But yeah, it's similarly though, like I think the risks are that Sprigatito's evolution turns out too basic and Fuecoco's evolution turns out too kooky. And so I don't know, could go either way on those, but
I think
we'll see what happens.
People are going to get debated by Quaxley. Because there's this meme specifically in our community, I would assume it's in other ones too, of people talking about it being a conquistador duck, and it's going to be like a colonizer duck. But I think that there's a chance that they're going to hit us with a bait and switch, and it's going to be like a freaking dancer or something.
That'd be funny. What if it's like a pirate? As opposed to...
I could see that too. I could see like a regular pirate. But we'll see. We'll see. It could be a colonizer duck. That's also possible. But
that seems the most likely for sure. But
does it?
We'll see what happens.
I don't know if it does. Because I feel like if they made their starter a colonizer duck, that wouldn't... The optics of that wouldn't be great in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because of the whole Spain thing, like Christopher Columbus or whatever, like, I mean, he's not Spanish, he's Italian, I'm pretty sure. But similar kinds of things. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see.
Optics, man. Yeah, and the optics aren't looking so good for Microsoft right now. As I just thought this was interesting to talk about, is the Halo co-op getting canceled, and sort of, I don't know, just that
specifically.
Okay, interesting. So you can still do online.
I'm pretty sure the co-op is still a thing. It just specifically co-op for split screen is canceled.
Okay, yeah. It does look like that's what it says. Okay, that's not, I mean, as bad as I was thinking, but still not great.
Yeah, still not ideal. Granted, like, I don't know, there's been a few times where, like, I've been downstairs and my brother's like, and being with other people and then being like, yo, let's freaking play split screen Call of Duty Zombies. I don't care about Call of Duty, but for what it's worth, they're like, yo, let's play the game. And then we found out, oh, you can't do it more than 2 people, like that sort of thing. Like, that can be annoying. But like, more often than not, me personally, if I'm playing a game like that, I'm playing online anyways with those games specifically. Like, those games just don't really feel like the type of game that you want to play in that way. I mean, obviously people that grew up playing them like that likes playing them like that, but like, I want to have the whole screen for a shooter, you know, like I don't want to play in a small like square. I'd rather have,
and somebody pointed out too, like, just logistically for this, I think maybe it was MVG or I don't know. Somebody was like, "Has there ever been
I saw
split screen open world game?"
It seems like just across the board, shooters in general are like usually not split screen anymore, and if they are, they're capped at 2 players.
Yep.
Or they're like an older style, like intentionally. Like N64-esque
like
video.
The screen peaking one or whatever it is.
Very exactly. Low impact hardware wise.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, realizing that it's just a split screen thing, like, still, I think the frustrating thing is that they promise something and they're not delivering it. It would be nice I think it would be good if they were more open about what it is. Even then, I could see them not wanting to be like, well, it's a technological constraint, because that like doesn't
it's a
say good things.
Constraint of the console that we just launched.
Yes, exactly.
The new console generation that hasn't even started yet, we already are bottlenecked.
Yep. So I think that's, that would be bad optics for sure, for them to be honest, but it's also it's bad optics to not be honest. So like, I think in the end, this isn't going to affect tons of people, but I don't really know.
Playing Halo Infinite for what's worth.
So
the release for that game has not been great. I mean, it's from what I've played, it's a fun game, but it's not a sticky game. It's not a game that makes me want to play it. So I played it twice, maybe 3 times, and then never touched it again, and I'm fine with it. Granted, I'm not fine with that in the sense that it's like, that's all I wanted out of it. I just didn't really care in the first place. Like, if this was a game that I was like highly anticipating, I'd be pissed. So like, I feel people that are mad at this, but
I mean, and also I'll be interested to see in like 5 years where this game's at, because like Sea of Thieves was a Game Pass game that everybody was really mad at first, and then now it's like huge or whatever. And like, I feel like Grounded is a similar kind of thing, and there's just all these games. So Halo could very well be a game that, as they keep putting time into it,
No Man's Sky.
Exactly. I mean, like RP said, kind of W for Game Pass players who didn't have to pay $60 on Halo.
True, exactly.
That's
how I feel.
100%.
That's where I'm at.
And hopefully you didn't put a lot of money into Dragalia Lost, because that is also going away.
I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest. I forgot that game existed many moons ago.
I think it looks like we found out back in, maybe we even talked about it then. That feels familiar, but in March we learned that it was closing down its servers. But it looks like end of November it's going down. So that is what it is. It's been 4 years. Can you still? I guess not. You can't even download it or play it or anything after that.
No idea.
Fully shut down. Service end date and time. Okay, so it's not even a question of like no new content. Probably there hasn't been no new content for a while. After the end of service, if you start up Dragalia Lost game after the game service has ended, an end of service notification will be displayed and you will not be able to play the game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, interesting. So here's my thing. Friggin' use the franchise for doing just normal Nintendo game.
I mean,
you know, like,
should they? You know, and like I'm sure they feel like it failed in one.
Yeah, right.
It failed on one platform. Do we think it's going to be worth investing in for another one? Like that sort of thing. Like I don't know. Like if it was popular at one time, I could see them being like, okay, we could salvage this. But I don't think people ever really cared.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one that I tried. I think it was kind of like the worst of all situations where it was like not an already popular IP. It felt like a kind of a dime a dozen mobile game in a lot of ways, but one that they weren't able to monitor. Like they talked about before, they were like, if Nintendo weren't involved, we'd be making way more money because, or rather, if Nintendo were letting us do what we wanted to do, we would be making them way more money because they would have more gross practices, you know, and like Nintendo was trying to reel it back a little bit or whatever. But it's one of those that like I feel like the most interested that people was Nintendo fans, but Nintendo fans that didn't really want to play a standard mobile game that's just kind of a standard mobile game. And it wasn't doing the things that would make it popular for the mobile game crowd. So it was kind of, I feel like it would be better off to just have a traditional game that like is well designed and whatever. Cause like, it seems like it's still, you know, a cool enough IP if it has Nintendo's name behind it, but also, you know,
that's kind of the thing though. Like I think the problem, like the way that Dragalia Lost could have succeeded is if they do the Nintendo thing that Nintendo's always trying to do on their platforms and justifying why the platform exists. Like the game isn't what they're concerned about necessarily. Like Splatoon, take that as an example. Splatoon justifies the whole advertised value of Wii U. Too late, but it did it. You know, it's like it gives you a reason for why you want to have the second screen. It gives you a reason for the motion and all that, and online play being a big focus on this platform for the first time, so on and so forth. If they were able to take what they see as special about the mobile platform that people aren't already doing, I think that would have made people interested in trying Dragalia Lost. In the same way that, like, what is that game called? It starts with an M, I think. It's a mobile game. Bob talks about it. Monument Valley? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
That's
Monument
like
Valley, sure.
That's one of the mobile games that a lot of people talk about, where it's like gamers talk about this game. It should be stuff that, like, despite the fact that people on the face of it don't like mobile gaming, it's so good that you are forced to play it anyway, you know? But Dragalia Lost not being that, they would turn around and take this like generic game and then it would still be generic. It would just be a generic RPG on the Switch now. Yeah,
that Nintendo published.
Which
you know, like I honestly, I think that's probably, for me, that's probably about as much as it is. It's just like, I like just guys with swords and dragons and stuff. Like, that's fun, you know, capital N nerd stuff. True. And I like Nintendo. So like when they do things like that together, that's really fun. But yeah, I mean, it would have to be literally just do more interesting things with that same IP. Because I don't want, by any means, do I want the Dragalia Lost game on the Switch. I just, you know, it's like, oh, it's an IP of theirs, do something with it. But at the same time, I'd much rather them do something with one of the IPs we talked about earlier that like that needs to be salvaged and is unique.
And
you know,
establish why it exists apart from like, I'm generic RPG
guy with the sword
3005. You know, it's like these games, most of them like at least had a key part in establishing a genre. you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like, even though some of them, like F-Zero, on some level seems generic now,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, because it started the
Right.
thing. You know, it's like what people say about stuff like Star Trek. Like they see Star Trek and it's like, it's generic sci-fi, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, because it invented that. You know, like,
Yep, it's true. So yeah, there's that. But speaking of Splatoon being unique and all that, it's so unique that there's 3 whole games. And so let's move into games we're playing. The first one of which is you played some Splatoon over the weekend. I did not get a chance, as I'll just go ahead and say that. I didn't get a chance to do the Splatfest at all. The day was a long day. But tell me about your experience. I mean, you've got a video coming out on Monday that's going to talk about that a little bit. Already out by when you're listening to this for patrons and stuff.
Currently, literally, the people that are listening to it right now in our Discord could watch it.
Nice.
Well, if you're 8-bit. but yeah, it's up early for 8-bit members. It will be up for everybody else on Monday, the premiere, giveaway, so on and so forth.
Yep.
You'll know about that if you go on our social media and whatnot.
True.
But yeah, that's happening. I played the game. The game was fun. Streamed it, which was also fun. The Splatfest specifically, kind of rough. There was a lot of connection issues. But I do think that is because of the Splatfest and not because of Splatoon. Because we're 3 games in. I played many hours of the first 2. And literally on the Wii U of all things, have never had a connection issue. Not a single time have I seen the "you have disconnected" screen. And on Splatoon 2, I can count on one hand. One of which was during the video that I did with Dan, that Cyber channel, which, by the way, we're doing it again, part 2, baby.
Nice.
But anyway, but yeah, like literally, that was like one of the first times. I think the first time I have ever seen that happen across any Splatoon game. So the online experience is generally really good. So like, it's the sort of thing that like they have earned my benefit of the doubt with this series. Like any other time, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should be worried, but like, nah. Like I think that it's. I mean, Splatfest
with a free demo, you know,
free
like
demo,
Splatfest
online centered game. Most online centered games, irregardless of platform, or regardless isn't the word. Regardless of platform, buckles under the pressure of day one. Everybody's on it, especially if it's free. So that much is whatever. But the game itself, the game feels smoother. I think the frame rate is like more consistent. Because, like, I think Splatoon 1 was 30 frames, and Splatoon 2 is 60 frames, but I don't think it's necessarily a consistent 60 frames. This is a consistent 60 frames.
So from what I hear, I think people found that there's...
It has the Super FX fidelity thing. Yep.
Yeah, FSR or whatever, like the same thing that was in Nintendo Switch Sports. So, yeah, that makes sense that, like, I guess, you know, if it's allowing it to the resolution to drop and be caught by the AI stuff so that the frame rate can stay consistent, then like that's awesome. It's doing its job.
Game feels super smooth. Like superficially, I guess a little bit superficially. Another thing out of all the time that I played Splatoon, outside of Splatoon 1, I don't think I've ever found a weapon combination that I like without any asterisk. Every single weapon combination I have ever used outside of Splatoon 1, which was Spider Shot Jr., had the bubbler, that was great. Freaking comes with a splat bomb. That's all I need. I want the sub weapon to be able to, in a pinch, me duck off and then throw the bomb, and then you die for chasing me. And then I want the special to either be able to kill you or to enable me to kill you. And that's what the bubbler did, where it's like, you think you got me, now I'm invincible, you can't kill me, and I kill you for trying to kill me. So like that, great. But most times in Splatoon 2, or all the weapons that I've used in Splatoon 2, it's like either the sub weapon can't do that, it's like not strong enough, or it's like a tactical sort of thing where it's like, oh, it slows your opponent down, or like, you know, like that sort of stuff. Or the special weapon is something like that, where it's like the special weapon in Splatoon 2 that I used, or that I had a lot, was the ink armor, which is like, if they break the armor, then they like, you can still die, which is not as useful. Or it's like a thing that has a lot of build up, and you can get killed before it launches and that sort of thing. But now, granted, this took me like the first like half of the event to figure out. I used the same weapon, that like, well, weapon type, which is called the arrow spray. It's like a machine gun sort of situation. I use that, which that already feels great. I don't like, there's no difference there. I just like automatic weapons in Splatoon. I know there's a lot of like weapons that are like single shot, and like the brushes and the roller and the slosher, which is the bucket. That sort of stuff where you got to keep tapping a button. Don't really like those.
Yeah.
Those get on my nerves.
Yeah.
I just want to press the button and not have to worry about that. They're cool. Like, I like the concept of them, but like, I don't like, if I'm trying to win, I'm not picking those weapons. Those are like, let's meme those. That's the kind of weapons that those are for me. But yeah, no. So I had that, and then the sub weapon that with the arrow spray that they had during the.
Do you get to, in this case? So time out real quick. It sounds like you never get to choose what your sub weapon is based on the main weapon.
Yeah, no. It's like a loadout situation, and what they do is like, there's different weapon types. So like the arrow spray, and then there's multiple versions of the arrow spray that comes with different combinations of sub weapons and special.
Okay, and those are always going to be stuck together. Like, whenever that main weapon comes up, it's always going to have the same sub weapon. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't know if they're changing that on Splatoon 3. It doesn't look like it. It's not like the gear. The gear you can like change and refine to be how you want it, by using.
And that's what you can save as a loadout is your gear, as opposed to your weapons.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Your weapons are like a class sort of thing. It's like balancing for a game. Like, you can't be like, man, I really like Mario, but I wish Mario had freaking pits up B, you know? Like that sort of thing. It's like, nah, if you like Mario, you got to use Mario's kit. That's how I think of the weapon logic anyway. But yeah, the sub weapon. Well, I'll talk about the special weapon first, because it's the least, the less interesting thing of the three. It's just like it's like a dolphin shark thingy, and then it charges at them and it explodes. And you can choose, it has like a set path where it will go in a straight line, and then when it gets to the end of that line, it will explode. Or you can explode before they get to that line by pressing the shooting button. It's neat. It's really good for the three team battles, it turns out. There's a moment in the video that's coming out that I demonstrated that. And it was a funny moment where I was like, oh no, this is a cracked weapon for this mode. This is ridiculous. But yeah, it's really good. There was a weapon a special weapon that was like, okay, but I still didn't really like it that much in Splatoon 2, called the Baller. That's kind of like that, but like, this is like sort of like a quote unquote nerfed version of that, where the Baller, it's out for longer and you can control where you go. Like, you can move freely, but you're in a ball. So like, as freely as you can, like a hamster ball, kind of a thing. Yeah, exactly. But for this, it always goes in a straight line, and you have no control over when it moves and when it doesn't move. All you can control is when you deploy it and when it explodes. Which is, it's fine. It's a fine weapon. I like it. But the special weapon, the sub weapon is the thing that initially I did not like, because I did not understand. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even read it. I just threw it, and it was this small explosion, and I was like, that sucks. I don't like that weapon. But it's called a fizzy bomb. And what the bomb does do that made it pog is you shake it like soda. And then it does bigger. It does a bigger explosion, and it does more explosions if you shake it up. And
fun!
It's dope. I like it a lot. It's a cool weapon.
So like, while you're not throwing it, you're just kind of like standing around shaking it a little bit.
So it's like a regular grenade, where it's like you take the the thing off, and
Right.
like Snake, for instance, in Smash, like he can hold the thing after he takes the thing off, and then that like is a mix up of like I'm gonna pull it out, and you're not gonna know if I throw it right before it explodes or not. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Gotcha.
So you could pull it out, like you're not, you don't always have it in your hand, but if you press the R button to throw the grenade, you can pull it out, and either you just hold the R button and it will charge on its own, or you shake your controller or move the right stick and it will shake. I mean, it'll charge way faster. Like if the regular charge is like 5 seconds, the shaking it takes less than one. It's like you just suck it up and shake it, and then you throw it, and then you can like really get like more than one kill. Like all I really want is enough to kill one person, either punish them for chasing me, or to kill them so they can't run away from me in the first place. This weapon, you can just clear the whole team if your positioning is good.
Man.
So I already got a main. Didn't even full game, not even out. Already got my ideal weapon. That's pretty sick.
That's awesome. That sounds really fun. Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like this game, or the new mechanics, has parrying and Smash Brothers vibes. Where right now, like in theory, I think it's going to be cracked, but right now I suck. But give me a couple months, dude. I'm gonna be doing it all the time, and like it's gonna be something that I don't think a lot of people are gonna master soon. And like when people do, people are gonna look at you like, you're lucky that happened. And it's like, no, I'm just freaking cracked. Like, but no, like so a lot of time I just forgot that it existed. I mean, I knew that, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know that the squid surge, like the going up the wall fast, that seems pointless in the main mode to me.
So from watching the treehouse, the thing that it seemed like it benefits is more like sneaking up on, like that you can like, at least the way they showed it is like somebody standing at the top of a thing, you kind of like zoom and like go up fast, and then like have a little bit of airtime to shoot down at them or something like that, which like I could see that, but I feel like that's a pretty niche use case that's probably, I bet, comes in really handy in the single player where like enemies are specifically positioned.
I think that I can do that anyway. Like, and multiplayer, like I can swim up the wall anyway and not have to do the squid surge situation. Like the only reason why I could see why you would need a boost is if somebody sees you and you're trying to like yeet, but you don't have that much, or at least it doesn't feel like you have that much control, because you have to swim up a certain amount before it gets enough of a charge to go up. So you can't do the mix up of like, I'm gonna go on this wall and I'm immediately jump up, or maybe I'll wait a little bit, or maybe I won't wait, maybe I'll swim up normal. It's not really a mix up. It's like you have to commit one way or another. Either you're going to swim all the way up, or you're going to do the swim surge thing. And that's like, it seems like, and I could be wrong. Game isn't out yet. Again, maybe the people that are really good at the video game will figure it out, and it'll be a crazy tech. But right now, I think that the real move, the like thing to watch out for and to master as fast as you can, is the squid like deflect spiral situation. I forgot what the actual name of the tech is, but that is the thing I think to watch out for. That one's going to be crazy. But yeah.
Nice. What did you think of the the triple
That's
turf
really
war
fun.
or whatever?
It's fun. I did one of those. Me and Nate were on the same team. I don't like, I mean, it makes sense. But like for the experience of it. So the team, I think the team that's losing, or maybe the team that's winning, I don't know. One of the teams, like they get 4 players, and then the other 2 teams.
I think it's the team that's winning.
Okay,
from the looks of it.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Paper was winning, but Paper got destroyed in the end. So I don't know, but yeah, they were the one that had the full team. So I was trying to play with viewers and stuff, and everybody, like people were trying to join. Like somebody literally subscribed so that they could play. And I was like, all right, dope. So then we did that. And it was only 2 people, but it was me and Nate, and we did it. And that's when we discovered that that special that I was talking about is cracked. And we won, man. 100% win rate on the
nice,
tricolors, man.
Does it feel like the tricolor one is is broken, like badly balanced, because that seems like some opinions that have been going around afterwards is like, because obviously the team that was in first place was then, I think it was Scissors was in first place, and then they ended up losing all the way, like getting no points or something like that. But like, I wonder if that's something that'll get tweaked in the long run.
No, I felt like, at least from playing and like looking at what the main team was, what they had to do, it seems like the main team has the advantage. Like, but I only played in one of them, so I don't know. But and I was obviously on the like I mean, like opposing offensive team. So I mean, it felt like if I was them, like. Nah, there's no way you lose that. If you have freaking 3 other teammates and you can coordinate and stuff, like what? That's you what?
Cal said playing on the winning team with 4 people sucked. Like it genuinely got no fun because once you lost the signal, it was pointless. Having played like 10, I'm curious because here's
if you have 3 other people on your team, especially
I wonder if some of it is
that you know. You could just be like, yo, that person has the signal. Get the person.
I wonder if some of it is psychology too, where it's like the people on the losing teams don't care as much about beating each other as much as just like beating down whoever the other team is. And so like some of that, like, I don't know. Like, I wonder if that's some of it where
that's even more like to your advantage, you know? Yeah. Cause like then they're all focused. So you know what they're what they're gonna do, and you outnumber them. Like, so.
It'll be interesting. I guess like having more Splatfest will be the telling thing, because this one could have been completely flukes and could have been whatever.
We'll see.
But then after like if you have like 3 Splatfests and all of them have the same like outcome, whoever was winning at the first is now losing or whatever, then like seems like something has to be changed. But it could just be the like.
I feel like there's always something that they need to tweak with the Splatfest balancing, because before it was like the less popular team had like a disproportionate advantage in terms of like the category of like who won the most, because there's a multiplier for like if you're less popular then you have a buff to like how much your wins matter. So like that could very well just be the thing this time around.
True.
But we'll see.
We will indeed. Any more thoughts about Splatoon other than your video coming out?
Game's good. Like the game a lot. Watch my video.
Nice. Well, cool. A game that I'm playing, I played a demo for a game that came out today, ? I think. It's a little game called Tinykin. There's a demo. Go download the demo. Basically, so I'm actually Ashley played it much more than I did. She was playing it while I was making dinner, and so I played it. I like was watching it so that I had an idea of it, and then like play it a little bit so that I could also get the feel for it to make sure it's like, is it mechanically fun? And it is. It's like, so it's a 3D platformer, but also kind of Pikmin at the same time. So like you're little tiny person in like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of situation, but inside a house. So you're like platforming on, I don't know, like a skateboard and books and a piano and stuff like that. But as you're going around, you're collecting little Pikmin, more or less, of various colors, and then doing little Pikmin activities. So whether that's like just chucking them at a thing to get some gold out or whatever, or chucking them at a thing to pick up a thing and move it or whatever. So we only played like the tutorial area and some of the first area, which is just like a room. But you're a tiny little person, so a room is big. And it seems really fun. So we'll play more of the demo and then maybe pick it up. I think it's like $25. So, pretty good on that front.
Is the game out currently?
I think it came out today.
Because I did see, I was like, I don't think I've heard of this game until today specifically. And Same. I was like trying to figure out where I like know that from, and it was because the Smash commentator tweeted and he said, kind of surprised nobody is talking about Tinykin. This game, it's Coney, by the way, for anybody that wants to follow Cody. Kind of surprised nobody is talking about Tinykin. This game is excellent. It's extremely easy
Nice.
and conveniences the player at all times, maybe to a fault. But the creativity is fantastic. It is a very fun way to soak your brain in colors for an hour or two.
Nice. I do wonder, yeah, I'm curious how long of a game or anything like that it is, because an hour or two makes it definitely seem like it's kind of shorter. But yeah, I mean, I heard about it on Twitter like just before dinner by a little bit. It was, I think, John from Direct Feed Games. No, sorry. Yeah, no, not Direct Feed Games. What's the ones that sometimes they're like, there's not enough pixels or whatever?
I mean, sounds like Direct Feed Games, but I thought Direct Feed Games was
That's
just
Nate the Hate.
Yeah.
What on earth is that channel that I'm thinking of? Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's the ones that like
Foundry.
do all the pixels.
Digital Foundry,
You
about.
got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Thank you, Cal.
I was like, wait,
Goodness
what are
gracious.
you talking about?
I was gonna be so mad at myself. That's 2 weeks in a row.
That's so many video game creators that complain about pixels.
Yep. That's the one I meant. But yeah, so John Linneman from Digital Foundry tweeted about it and was like, this game's awesome or whatever. So I was like, yeah, download the demo. But yeah, so I'd say for anyone who's interested, if you like 3D platformers and like the art style's fun, it's like, kind of like Unreal Engine-ish. I mean, not quite, but like in that like sort of realistic world. But then your characters are like kind of Paper Mario-y, just like sort of 2D sprites that like flip back and forth kind of thing. So it's just a nice little juxtaposition of those things. Yeah, go check that game out. But what about you? Anything else?
Am I playing anything? Oh, friggin', I'm doing another, I'm finishing my Pokedex and Pokemon Sword again. So I can get another shiny charm and another save file so I can get shiny legendaries again. Or more shiny legendaries out of the Pokemon in the Sword and Shield DLC that I already caught and kept before I knew that you can catch them until you keep them. And you might as well never keep them until you catch one that is shiny. So that's what I did this week mostly.
Nice.
Alec and Trev and Mega Man helped me get Pokemon to complete my Pokedex again. Guys. And now I only got like 20 something more. So next week I'm gonna have Shiny Charm number 2, and I'm gonna be able to get more shiny legendary Pokemon. It's gonna be Pog, and I'm gonna be able to have another shiny Ho-Oh that I can use as collateral.
So in your other game that you already have, all that, you said it caps out. So like once you've got the shiny charm and once you've caught a shiny Ho-Oh or whatever, it just won't let you get another one.
You just can't catch anymore. Have you done any of the raids?
Nope.
So after you do a raid, the first time it's like, yo, you beat the Pokemon, can't throw the big Pokeball at it.
Right, yeah.
After you throw the big Pokeball at it and you keep it, the next time you do the raid and you battle a Pokemon, it'll say, okay, you did the raid, catch the Pokemon, throw the Pokeball, and then the Pokemon poofs. And then it goes to the screen and it's like, all right, pick one of the 3 Pokemon that's not the legendary that you may or may not. And I mean, not necessarily 3, but up to 3 Pokemon, because sometimes you press B and you're cringing. You didn't catch the Pokemon.
And one of those will be shiny?
Maybe. There's a chance. 100 if you have the shiny charm. And that's why I need a shiny charm.
And if it isn't, then you can do that again?
No. You can just say no. And like usually what I do, I mean,
but once you say yes, you can't do that anymore.
You can't do the legendary anymore specifically. So you can take whatever Pokemon you want, as long as it's not the legendary. But I usually say no if nothing's shiny, because I don't care about the other Pokemon, dude. I'm just here for the shinies. Everything else doesn't matter to me. And it's funny because every time I know that people like grind for specific ones because it's like, I really love this legendary and blah blah. Every time somebody comes into the chat with me and Lee, which that's another thing I want to mention, because I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently now it's a capital T thing, TM. So we do Smash Tuesdays. That's always been a thing. That's a thing. That's an institution. But now we're also, until the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, going to do Pokemon after we do Smash. So if you want to do raids with me and Lee, we're doing them every Tuesday, 8 p.m. But Pokemon will probably be like closer to like 10, 9, 30, sometime around there, Eastern time. But why was I talking about that? Oh no, every time somebody comes in the chat, they're like, "Oh, you're looking for shinies? What Pokemon are you looking for?" And we're like, "We don't care." Like, just any shiny. Whatever shiny, dude.
That's really funny. But yeah, interesting. Well, cool. So good job. 28 more, 29, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
So
that'll be good.
It'll happen when it happens. It'll probably happen on I still haven't. I mean, I guess it depends on what time we're doing the premiere. But I don't know if I'm streaming twice or if I'm not streaming again on Monday.
Yeah, right.
But if I stream twice on Monday, maybe I'll finish up the rest of them on Monday. But if I don't stream twice on Monday, then who knows? Who knows when?
Who does know? Well, kind of fun, yeah. Otherwise, also, I guess I played a little bit more Dragon's Dogma. Not a ton, but a little bit more. And yeah, seems like an okay time. I'll update more when I have stronger opinions one way or another. Right now, they're about the same opinions, which is like, it's a 2011 Western RPG for sure. That's definitely for sure. So we'll find out from there if that's a kind of game that will stick with me or not. I played about 25 hours of Skyrim back in the day, and then I didn't really feel like playing any more of that. When I say back in the day, for anybody, like 2018, 2019, something like that.
When it came to Nintendo Switch system.
Exactly, when it came to the Switch. So the fact that I didn't play more of that, then, I'm not super hopeful that this one will like really sink its teeth into me.
Skyrim is the one. I couldn't tell you because I never purchased Skyrim. Apparently that's a sin. But
apparently
I've never purchased Skyrim, and I will never purchase Skyrim at this point.
Yep. So there's that. But that said, so I tweeted the other day or yesterday or something. This is basically like one of the last games on my backlog to like start. At least
now you can be angry at the lack of directs because you actually finish your backlog. You're the only person that's allowed to be mad.
Except for instead of that, it's like, ooh, yay, now I can like feel okay buying the like, I mean, if I have money for it or whatever.
You're a liar. You didn't finish your backlog. You just finished the part of your backlog that you own. That's different.
That's exactly. Yeah. That's the one.
Different.
And that doesn't even include the games that are on SNES Online and 64 Online that I haven't played yet that I would like to start at some point. Or like, back in the day, back in the day being 2018, I started, I played Earthbound for the first time. But when I say that, I really only played like the first 2 or 3 towns of Earthbound.
Oh, so I was about to say, you know about Buzz Buzz? Don't talk about Buzz Buzz.
I know a little about Buzz Buzz.
I don't want to spoil Buzz Buzz, man.
I didn't get like that far.
20-something-year-old game.
I was playing it on the SNES Classic, and that was too much work to play games on that.
True.
Long term. So I didn't. So now I gotta finish Earthbound at some point and some other games like that. So it's interesting time. The last game that I'll have to start to like officially have played some of all of the games that I own.
11?
It is not, because I haven't bought that one before. It's
did.
Fire Emblem, the old one that they brought back for a limited time. Fire Emblem and the Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. That's the one. So we're gonna see what I feel about that game whenever I play that. So yeah, that's a little interesting thing. But I think I am going to make a spreadsheet of games that's like, now, like whenever I have some money and time.
Spreadsheet. But I'm
my kind of people.
It got me effed up, dude. I'm not making a spreadsheet. But for the
what were you gonna make it on? Oh,
for the Pokedex and
the last Pokemon, yeah.
Specifically, Trav was the only one that has not fully accepted. I am never going to do that ever. Like I'd much rather do the guesswork if that's what it needs to be. But like, at the same time, I didn't even feel like I really needed to guess. I like knew the Pokemon that I already had, and I knew the Pokemon that I needed. like the video game does the spreadsheet for me. I don't need to make the spreadsheet. They have spent millions of dollars making the spreadsheet for me. So I don't need another one. But the community made the spreadsheet, and
look at that.
And there we go. And we got it.
That's how to get your way. It's just, don't do stuff until other people are so annoyed that they're just going to do it themselves,
But
I guess.
see, I don't even like that description because I didn't want nobody to make a spreadsheet. I never asked anybody to make me a spreadsheet. I just refused to do it.
But as Rye said, Excel is just that fun.
Those are two different things. That was that was being positioned by Trevor of being like, this man's trying to make me make another spreadsheet. I already made him a spreadsheet. I'm like, I'm not trying to make you a spreadsheet. I mean, make me a spreadsheet. I just refuse, and you too can refuse all you want. Go for it. I would actually support that. I support everybody no longer supporting spreadsheets. The tyranny must end at some point.
The glory of spreadsheets must ring out.
Yes.
Until kingdom come.
We have been oppressed for long enough. We're not.
No, I mean ring out in the good way.
We're not.
Get out of here with your.
We're not in 4th grade anymore. We don't gotta make spreadsheets.
They're such a wonderful time. Those things. So yeah, that's me. That's the games. I think I maybe played a little bit of something else here or there, but for the most part, that's about it.
I'm playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and also last weekend was Shine 2022, and Tweak is playing Pokemon Trainer, and he didn't win, and he raged. And I was like, oh no, this means he's no longer going to play Pokemon Trainer, but it's not true. He's still playing Pokemon Trainer, so that's pretty pog. But yeah, no, he was playing against, funnily enough, somebody that made a tweet thread telling him that he should play Pokemon Trainer. So maybe it was sabotage. Maybe he hustled him. But Cosmos, who's a Pyramithra player, Tweak was winning 2-0. Shades of MK Leo at Evo 2019, not 2020. That didn't happen. But yeah, no, he was winning 2-0, and then he lost 2 games in a row with Pokemon Trainer, and then he was like, okay, I gotta try another character, and then he used Wario, who is also part of his lineup for what it's worth, and he lost last stock, and then he punched the table, and he punched the table like he said F, and then he shook his hand and he walked off the stage.
What if he literally said F?
Yeah, what if he
just
said
like
F? He didn't say F. He said the expletive.
The whole thing.
Yep. But yeah, no, he's still playing Pokemon Trainer, and I saw he streamed a couple times. Well, he streamed like yesterday, and I think he streamed today. But I saw the stream yesterday, and he was talking about he just feels like he's not like used to them right now, so he's like trying to get back in the swing of things. But I mean, I thought from watching his streams before Shine that I was like, okay, we're at this point now where I'm not really learning anything from you right now. So that's kind of unfortunate. But again, he's getting back in the swing of things. But during Shine, I did learn some stuff, and it's less character specific, more like he's just a top player, so he's smarter than me with like the type of things that he goes for. So like Pyramithra specifically, usually I try to punish the recovery when they're coming down with Ivysaur. But he like challenged them before they got to their apex, and he up aired them. So like they put themselves closer to the blast zone with Ivysaur up air, and I was like, I need to do that more. Like I've probably done that like just by accident, or not necessarily by accident, but like situationally. I'm like, well, I'm here, I might as well press up on the right stick. But he like proactively was like, oh, they're using their up B, I am going to meet you there, and I am going to up air. It worked really well. And like as soon as I saw him do it the first time, it wasn't even like a thing that's like, why would you pick that? As soon as I saw him go for that, I was like, oh my god, I should have been doing that for years. Like it's so smart. But other than that, standard Pokemon Trainer stuff, I haven't really I don't think we're at the point yet where he's used to the character and he's like back to innovating again. But this is the first like small innovation that I've seen that I was like, oh, I don't do that, and I need to do that, so I'm going to do that.
Nice. Yeah.
But That's me.
That's always fun.
Games. Oh, also I'm playing Smash, and I'm gonna try to go to local tomorrow, but I gotta babysit my niece tomorrow morning while my sister goes to a job interview. So maybe I won't.
Baby's one of those.
Maybe I won't be at the local. Maybe not. We'll see.
We will. And we'll also see what kind of answers we got to all your questions. Here we go with the questions, everybody. Here we go. We asked for some questions, and Fernie asked on Twitter, what Nintendo franchises could you see adopting the Battle Royale genre? IMO, a Splatoon Battle Royale would be very fun. Cowboy emoji.
I mean, I've talked about this multiple times, but not that I think it will happen, but I think it could be cool. Pokemon. A Pokemon Battle Royale would be sick, where it's like, okay, either it could be a thing where you got to find Pokeballs, but I think that would make it even more annoying and hard, unnecessarily. But like, you're given 3 Pokeballs, and it's like, all right, here, everybody freaking find your Pokemon, and then, like, if the last trainer standing wins, or last team of 2, or whatever the mode is, I think that could be really sick. I think that it has an interesting spin while still having a similar gameplay loop of 2 like the shooter battle royales, where it's like you got to find your weapon, and like sometimes you don't find a weapon that's as good as the other person's weapon, that sort of thing. But for this to work, Pokemon couldn't be Pokemon where it's menus and stuff, because I don't think that really works in the battle royale format, because like you can like find a team of 2 or whatever, and it's like initiate the multi-battle, and then somebody else finds you, and then what are they going to do? They're going to wait for the battle to be over. Like,
and you could stall out, like if it's just a like last one standing, then like you and the other people just like,
I'm not picking an option. So like the battle system would definitely have to be different to facilitate that. But if they did, it would be neat, and I would.
It would be very neat. Yeah, that would be super, super fun. A maybe obvious one, but one that I've thought for a while, and kind of is becoming more and more true, even within Fortnite. Maybe kind of. Not more and more true, but Breath of the Wild, they have laser swords now in Fortnite is what I'm getting at. So like you kind of have that, but in Breath of the Wild, sort of Zelda types of things, I just think there's just a lot of combat options, where from like long range, there's just a lot of combat options and stuff. And so I feel like that is pretty conducive to just having a fun time. And there's not a lot of like
question melee. Like, who do you pick? That's the only question.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who are the player characters, and does that make sense in this world? But outside of that, it's like, that would work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, because there's just not a lot of melee options for those kinds of games. Like other than now, there's swords in Fortnite, but
and there's freaking which I still haven't seen this game, so I can't. I mean, I've seen like seconds, and not like in like rapid succession, so I don't know the full gameplay of it. But there's that the melee battle royale game. I don't even remember what it's called, to be honest.
I don't know either.
Does anybody in the chat know what the game is called? It's a battle royale game. It's like a melee game. RP, you might.
Is it Naraka Blade Point?
I rated Pikachu Lita. She was playing it. What is this
Rumbleverse?
Game? Yes, that Rumbleverse. Cool. That's what I was thinking of.
Rumble. Is it like melee, like fighting?
Yeah,
like punch. Oh, yeah. I remember. Okay, I remember seeing this one.
So yeah, there's that game.
yeah. That's true. Otherwise, I mean, a kind of obvious one, but like different enough, would be like Metroid, a 3D Metroid situation, for the reasons that like I feel like all your different abilities could make for interesting, like include platforming in there and stuff, like kind of very mildly in a similar way to like
aspect of like start a Zero Suit Samus, and maybe you find a power suit, and maybe somebody else finds a better power suit.
Yep.
And maybe
if you find ice missiles, you can like climb up to a certain spot or whatever in like a grappling hook situation or something, like that. I feel like that could be really conducive.
Honestly,
to
that's like something that I could see. Not that I'm calling this by any means, but I could see that working in Metroid Prime 4. Just because the whole battle royale gameplay loop fits pretty nicely into the Metroidvania, like start with nothing, the rags to riches sort of thing, right? The only thing that doesn't make sense is that Metroid is generally a secluded thing, but like, whatever. It's a video game.
Yeah. I mean, you could honestly, you could also do it as like, if say there's like a prequel element or something, or like a flashback element or something like that. So like
she's in like a training camp.
School.
Sort of,
This is like the training camp thing. You know, it's like all the mechanics are there, but like it's it's just you and a bunch of other students or whatever at the place learning how to be bounty hunters.
Yep.
So then there you go. Yeah. No, I mean, that would be great. It'd be fun.
I'd be down. I would play that.
Yep. I don't know. Any other ideas?
Nope.
Cool. Thrill House said, scale of 1 to 10, what will the outrage be if/when Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD are individual full price releases? Yeah, I'm the problem, and we'll get them for the 4th and 3rd time.
I think it depends on where the outrage is coming from, because I'm already seeing people present the hypothetical that like if you're mad about this, and I mean if you're mad about Uncharted, freaking Uncharted, The Last of Us, the same game. If you're mad about the Naughty Dog video game being $70, despite the fact that it was released on 2 other platforms that you can easily access, you should be mad about this too. And I'm already sitting here like, no, because like the like core of that is that it's a video game that you can already play on the platform that you already own, and they're milking it, period.
Yeah.
But here,
it's like,
it's those are games that are on platforms that, both of which, even the original platform, the only thing, Twilight Princess, because you played on the Wii, but on GameCube and on the Wii U, they are very like niche platforms. Like even PlayStation 3 sold 80 million units, PlayStation 4 sold 15 17 million units. People have been able to play this video game. But for Twilight Princess, to a lesser extent, and Wind Waker, you're looking at less than a third of either one of those individual platforms. So it's like it's not, you're not thinking all the way through here. This isn't arguing in good faith. Because it's not the same thing. And the difference and like the reason why you charge a game, charge what you charge for a game is like, and why they would in theory, I don't know why people are already mad about the thing that's not happening, but people are mad about the thing that's not happening or that hasn't happened. The reason why they would charge $60 for both is that they feel like it would be worth $60 for both. And if it wasn't worth $60 for both, don't buy it. And then it won't be $60 for both. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I'd pay $60 for Wind Waker. I'm probably not going to buy Twilight Princess again. So I don't care. Like, the people that feel compelled to buy both for $60 and you're going to be mad about it, whatever. But me personally, I don't care, because I'm only going to buy one anyway.
Well said. Yeah. I'm with you. I feel like there will be outrage if that happens for sure. And it would be great if they weren't, you know, like I would much rather them be sold at $60 for a bundle, because then I only have to.
Agreed.
You know what? I would only probably buy Wind Waker of the two anyway, because I already have Twilight Princess on GameCube and the Wii. So like, you know, and I've played it fairly recently, so I'm probably good on that.
And the game sucks. No, I'm joking. Only kind of joking.
But if they were both together, that's nice.
That would be sick.
But yeah, I think
like if it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. I think this too. Like you can definitely be mad at it separate, like for its own merit if you want to. That's reasonable for sure. Yeah. I think it is different. Yeah, you know, exactly, than the Last of Us situation, which even that, like, you can also just choose to be like, well, that's dumb of them, and not be mad about it, I guess, if you want, you know, like,
yeah, all right, that was the incentive for me. I made a tweet, talked about it on our podcast, which is what the podcast is for, and it's whatever. Like, I'm not going on a hate crusade. I'm just not going to buy the game, and I wouldn't buy it if they put it out for $10 again, because I already freaking played it, and it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that good.
Yeah. Man, silly times. But yeah, there it is. Let asked, now that you've gotten a taste of Splatoon 3 with the Splatfest world premiere, was there anything you noticed in the demo that you didn't expect?
I mean, I didn't expect the connection issues. I'll say that. I didn't expect that. No, not really. I already knew what I was getting into. I knew that it was gonna because I heard stuff about the super fidelity whatnot, so I already had a feeling that it was going to feel like it was going to play better. I don't know why people and I'm not a graphics person, as we've established. But I don't know why people are saying that this game is the same game even in that respect, because I could see off rip from the reveal that every Splatoon game is demonstrably improved visually. The first, it's Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 2 to Toy Story 3 levels of improvement, very clear.
You forget how not great Toy Story 1 looks nowadays.
Exactly.
If it's it's rough, you know?
Yeah, and maybe it's because of how much time I put in the Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, but it wasn't even that part of it, because another thing that we've talked about is with Wind Waker, right? With the Wind Waker remaster, when that came out, it's oh, this is what the game looked like in your head, but it doesn't look like that. Wind Waker on GameCube looks fine, but it doesn't look as good as it does on Wii U. The Splatoon never was I knew what Splatoon looked like in my mind's eye. There was never any rose tinted glasses going on there. I always knew it's Splatoon looks like that, and it doesn't look bad per se, but it doesn't look as good as Splatoon 2, which doesn't look as good as Splatoon 3. That said, it's Splatoon, and I like that. I was surprised about what I talked about, or I didn't necessarily expect to find a weapon combination that I like as much as I do with the one that I used, because since Splatoon 1, I'm used to disappointment in that regard. They nerfed me, dude. I was tight in Splatoon 2, because that weapon was I felt like that with that weapon combination where it's man, I know exactly where to go. I'm not in a weapon picking crisis. I knew exactly which one worked for me, and then they snatched it away from me. But now I found a new friend, dude. It's great. I didn't expect to I mean, I only got to play it once, for what it's worth, but I didn't expect to like the tricolor Splatfest as much as I did. It was a lot of fun. So that was also something that was I didn't expect. I didn't expect to dislike it, but I didn't expect to like it at more than I do the regular Splatfest, in a notable way. I thought it was going to be chaos in not necessarily a bad way, but not a improved kind of way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it seems fun. I have no opinions, obviously, but those all make sense. I also, on this side, was looking up just now because again, I've got Twilight Princess and Wind Waker GameCube copies, and Twilight Princess is worth almost twice what Wind Waker is worth.
That's also crazy. The wild concept that they would price their game based off of what their game is demonstrably worth. I could buy any version of freaking Last of Us for $10 cheaper on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I gotta buy both of those, and you want me to spend 7 times that price?
Yep.
That's crazy. But moving on.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that. Last question. German San Juan asked, Killer 7 remaster when? And I think as we realized last week, when Killer 7 is the same as Kill the Kill, because those are the ones that we could not. Know.
Isn't Killer 7? That's a game. That's a GameCube game.
I think that is a game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's same guy that did. Maybe you just said his name?
Wasn't that who Kamiya? Was that one of
No, I think it was the same guy, Grasshopper. No More Heroes.
Yeah, that guy. Freaking Suda. Did I say his name?
Yeah, Suda51. Maybe you did. You said something as I was also saying something, so I didn't hear what you were saying. So I was like, maybe you just said Suda51 and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, that was Grasshopper. So
I thought that was one of the Capcom 5 question mark. One of the games that the guy was like, if these games come to anything but GameCube, I will cut my head off or whatever.
It might be. Oh, no, because that was, you're right. That was like, it was like
Resident
games
Evil
or Platinum games or
yeah,
something.
Yeah. It was,
yeah. Well, this is Capcom.
So maybe it was one of those games.
But it came to PlayStation 2 and Microsoft Windows in the end.
Yep,
so
it did. He didn't come through for, not a man of his word, turns out.
Yep. But what? I want to say this game was talked about fairly recently-ish, in the past couple of years at least, that like, yeah, it's maybe coming back or something like that. But what do I know? So.
I don't know. I never played it. I saw the box art. I can think of the box art in my head, but I never saw the game being played.
Yeah. I have no reference point whatsoever. I think all I know is that some of the lore plays in a little bit, maybe with No More Heroes, but I've also never played No More Heroes, so it's a good job. But speaking of good job to all of you for listening through a whole podcast.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
That's it.
Tell your friends. Podcast services, YouTube. If you're on one, go to the other one.
Yep.
Freaking ring the bell so you know when the giveaways happen. Okay, goodbye.
Peace.